Second boss is called self-cherishing attitude. Rang Jinji, self-cherishing attitude. Not to have self-cherishing attitude does not mean that you should not take care of yourself. Of course you should take care of yourself. But self-cherishing attitude means thinking just oneself alone and completely ignoring the well-being of others. Here, when I use the word self-cherishing attitude, I'm not just talking about like taking care of yourself, but I'm talking about a negative emotion where you think just yourself and completely neglect and ignore the well-being of others. So, in Shantideva's Bodhicharya avatar, after giving a detailed explanation about the importance of bodhicitta and disadvantages of self-cherishing attitude, then he makes a summary by saying, Mang dushiya da chishigu, chipa rangi tuyanze da tuwa shingi tuyanze ba dingi chini kebar tuyos. Then he makes this beautiful summary by saying, there's no need for me to elaborate this point. You should just see the difference between the Buddha and the ordinary person. The ordinary person has been for life after life practicing self-cherishing attitude, thinking only about oneself. So where are they today? And then Buddha for countless lives taking the mind, practicing the mind that cherishes the well-being of others, practicing bodhicitta. So where is Buddha today? If you see these two differences, ordinary person and Buddha, then you will see the result of these two minds, self-cherishing attitude and bodhicitta. Rāngcīnzīn dīnzīn dāngzīn dīnyi dārta nāti. Awu tūjīn. So these two very negative sworn enemies are resting, not only have they captured our mind, but they are resting peacefully, drinking tea and coffee and relaxing. Because nobody is challenging. Because we have this very funny tendency of seeing, even the negative emotions. If it is your negative emotion, then it should be good. It should be justified. We have this tendency. So therefore, you take it as a natural thing, And many scientists also, they say, they hardly talk about negative emotion. They say emotion means emotion, There's nothing negative, positive. All emotions are useful. Of course, we cannot so lightly ignore their, claim or their finding. We need to think, right? But still, in Buddhism, these are identified as negative, destructive emotions. So, as a Buddhist practitioner, you need to understand few things. Whether you study mind training, whether you study Lamrim, or whatever Buddhist text you study, there are few core elements. So the core element is that the main enemies that you should fight and defeat and eradicate, banish from your head is ignorance, self-cherishing attitude. Now the counter force against these two sworn enemy, they are wisdom understanding emptiness and bodhicitta. Wisdom understanding emptiness means wisdom that sees the nature of ultimate reality, sees the way things are. So that can very effectively deal with this ignorance, which misconceivs the reality, which sees things as having independent existence. Whereas the wisdom of emptiness sees things as having as dependent existence. So that correct view, correct wisdom can eliminate ignorance. Clear? Clear? Now here, emptiness, the very famous word. Those of you who attend my talk, this is a reminder, I have explained this many times. Those who have not, Then raise your ear and listen carefully. Emptiness is not equal to nothingness. We already agreed few things, right? Remember that again. Things exist, but there are only two modes of existence: dependent existence, independent existence. And which one did you choose? Dependent existence. Therefore, there is no independent existence. So this non-existence of independent existence is called emptiness. Empty means none, like an empty pot. So emptiness therefore means empty of independent existence. Clear? Empty of independent existence, meaning there is no independent existence. Because things exist, they exist dependently. Therefore, there is no independent existence. So emptiness means empty of independent existence. So the wisdom understanding emptiness sees the way things are, sees things as having dependent existence. Now if you are somebody who has a very profound understanding of interconnectedness, and we should be able to understand this because we are today living in a computer age where we talk about networking, interfacing. It's so interesting. All these words that we are using, globalization, you see, prove this through scientific findings. So therefore, the antidote or counterforce against ignorance is wisdom, understanding emptiness. Then the counterforce against self-cherishing attitude is bodhicitta. Because bodhicitta means a mind wishing to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Self-cherishing attitude thinks just oneself, completely ignores others. So that mind that cherishes the well-being of all other sentient beings is the counterforce against that self-cherishing attitude. So your core practice, now you should make effort. Many of you may already have a lot of knowledge, but otherwise you should make that effort to understand these core teachings. Bodhicitta, wisdom, understanding emptiness. These are the two real wings by which you can soar and fly into the state of enlightenment. The others are kind of contributing factors for these two important practices. Because your main enemy is ignorance, self-cherishing.